All right, Kimberly, I adore you in so many ways.
Awesome.
And I love Alora's guest appearances.
It's real life.
Seriously. She was precious. She was precious, and you're like the mom of the year. I love it.
And it just shows that, I mean, half the time in my videos, my kids are in my videos.
Okay, I watched this, not to talk about, like, a different kind of company, but I watched, you know, the people that pull the, what are they called? The pearls out of the oysters.
Oh, the one like y'all did?
I was watching one of those videos the other day, and this woman was, like, pulling them out of the oysters, and her kids kept coming up behind her, and she kept, like, going,
Get out.
like we couldn't see her. Get out of the picture. Like, get out of the shot. And I was like, that's hilarious. Oh, yeah, you got a little. Here you go.
Oh,
there you go.
I've got avocado. I've got...
It's fine. So anyways, we want to thank you. We want to thank all of our incredible speakers. We are going to talk a little bit more this afternoon about treating your business like a business. And hopefully you'll walk away with some inspiration and some motivation to move forward and do the good work that's been placed in front of you, because we believe that it's good work.
Okay.
But before that, I have to speak up. Who said so? The people?
Two people.
The people.
Two people.
The
Okay.
people have spoken.
Who have said to speak up? I actually did not check to see where our donations were. Husband, you might have to do it. You might have to go check on our donations.
Okay.
So anyways, we're going to give you an update, and we're going to randomly pick one of your names, and someone's going to win a $100 gift card in just a little bit. So we will do that shortly. But before that, I guess I didn't have anybody introduce me. Jacqueline, would you like to introduce me?
Sure.
Okay.
So, Allison Dalke, my sister-in-law, she's married to my brother Brian, which Brian's been like the stage manager. Is that what you'd call him?
Yeah, like stage manager.
like-
We've had some serious Wi-Fi problems. Oh, look, Jack.
Stage boy. I prefer
Get up
stage
there.
boy.
Yeah, that's good.
Stage boy. And let's see, Allie, well, it'll be November 3rd.
I don't know, something
I
like
think it's
that.
November 3rd. She signed up, and she used to be a teacher, but she had beautiful Addie, who is now a blossoming teenager. She's not a teenager yet.
Don't even.
She looks like a teenager.
Well, she's sassy.
She's sassy, yeah. And so Allie, after she had Addie, decided she wanted to quit teaching and join Scentsy without even having a warmer.
Yeah.
Took a leap of faith, and I thought she was crazy. I got an invite for this wax thing, and I was like, it's probably something that she's gonna fail at, because she tried the mark, and what else did you try? I mean, not
You're so
like,
sweet.
I mean, it wasn't like that, but it's like, it's probably just another direct sales company.
Did you know that I thought our warmers were about this big? I thought they were like, I don't remember if the Body Shop used to have little things that you would put tarts in the top, and they had a tea light that went underneath.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought, like our warmers were like this big. And then I got my sandstone warmer.
Right.
It's like, oh my gosh, this is like huge and beautiful.
And so when we went to her first party, she spilled wax on the floor, almost on someone.
Oh,
it
at
was
my lunch
coconut
party.
lemongrass. It was clear.
All over the floor.
I remember that. But she sold so much, and I was like, oh my gosh, she almost spilled warm wax on someone, and she just sold a ton. Like, surely this is
Just gotta be real.
And then Brian's back there trying to upsell people with his car sales, tactics and stuff. We talked about car salesmen a lot today.
She should introduce you more often.
Yeah. But the rest is history. Like, Allie, the one thing that always inspired me about Allie was she being a teacher, she knew that training was how she was going to get to the top. So she took what she was really good at and ran with it, and that was what I was really weak at. So our way to the tops were probably different approaches, but I feel like over time we've learned that if there's a good balance, it's great, but also do what you're good at, and Allie's shown me that, she's always been like a goal setter, so it's inspired me to be a goal setter, and she's pretty amazing.
Thanks. That was a sweet introduction, Jack. And then I'm going to make her sit here for my whole presentation.
Yeah.
We're like, will you sit with me? So you have to act engaged.
Okay.
And like it's really good.
I might add something in every so often.
I'm actually going to ask. You're part of it. You just don't know it yet.
Okay.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about, to close this out, about treating your business like a business and why that's so important. And I'm going to read a little bit because I'm a writer. I'm trying to say that more often. Try to claim what you believe that you are. But I'm a writer, and so I write things down. So I'm going to read a little bit, and I don't have the glory of like putting it next to my computer, like you can see all of me. So we're going to talk about treating your business like a business. So I hope that this is helpful to you, and I hope this kind of closes everything together for you and allows you to take what you've learned today and really use it in a powerful and impactful way to change your business and to change the future of your family, because really that's what we're here for. That's what we want to see happen. So here's the thing that I have learned over 10 years. When your Scentsy business is an obligation or a hobby, it can get in the way of the things that really matter. Your marriage, your children, your family, your passions, your soul, and none of those things are worth sacrificing. But I know that you can run this business and make it profitable and not sacrifice the things that matter. And I believe that you've got a voice. I believe you have a story, and I believe there's something great to be done that only you can do. So if you follow me on social media, you may have seen me making a fool of myself lip syncing to a song from Moana the other day.
I didn't see that.
You haven't seen it yet? It's entertaining.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Especially this part. I am Moana. If you haven't seen this movie, it is like
It's a great movie.
It's so good. It's so good. I'm a total nerd, but I really, really love the story in this movie. So I'm actually going to read you a few lines from this song because I think they're important and I think they're applicable to your business. I'm not going to recap the movie, so if you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it. But these words are still going to be powerful to you even without knowing the storyline. So this is the person speaking in this part of the song is Moana's grandmother, and she's the guide in the story, and she's coming to give Moana some encouragement. And she says to her, "Sometimes the world seems against you. The journey may leave a scar, but scars can heal and reveal just where you are. The people you love will change you, the things you have learned will guide you, and nothing on earth can silence the quiet voice still inside you. And when that voice starts to whisper, 'Moana, you've come so far. Moana, listen. Do you know who you are?'" So I think those words are so powerful, and I think what was beautiful about today was we had so many amazing women talk about the scars, talk about the journeys they've been on. I mean, Maggie and Jill and Carol, I mean, just pouring out their hearts about not just the good and not just the shiny, but the parts that are harder, the parts that leave the scars, but that truly define who we are. They don't define us in a negative way, but they're part of us. And I think the beautiful thing about these women is you've begun to see healing come from their pain, and that's when I think you can truly have an impact in the world, when the healing begins to happen. So here's the thing. I think the things that you've learned today are going to guide you. I think everything you've learned up to this point has guided you where you are, right? But I think sometimes we get stuck in a place where we want more or different, where maybe we're not happy with the way things look, or things haven't turned out exactly how we thought they were going to turn out, right? So, and here's the other thing is, if you're like me, you've got a voice inside you. It's something that, and I don't, you can chime in on this. For me, I have two voices, and one of them tells me that I'm not enough, that I can't do it, gives me a million excuses in the book. And then there's another voice that says, you're powerful, you're enough, you are fearless, you are a light. And I get to choose every day which voice I get to listen to. Like, would you say that you always feel like the voice inside you always tells you you're awesome?
No. Half the time, I don't do something because of fear of not being capable of being able to do it because I'm not organized, or I don't know enough, or like listening to the Facebook parties, that's not really my cup of tea. And so just listening to it makes me nervous because and then I sit there like, am I capable of doing a Facebook party like she is? I am, but I have to speak positivity in myself, because what you speak about, affirmation. I have to speak. What am I looking for?
Truth and life.
Yeah, because what you say about yourself is ultimately what you end up doing. So if I always say, well, I can't do that because I'm not comfortable with that, well, I'm probably never going to rock my Facebook parties. But if I start speaking good things to myself, then I will start rocking my Facebook parties.
So I think what a lot of people think is that people who sit in really successful positions, or people that sit at the top of a company, or people that have made it, quote unquote, I think other people look and say, well, nope, the voices inside their head, they must never hear those voices of doubt, or those voices of fear, or insecurity, or questioning their ability to do something. We hear those voices all the time. And I think one of the most powerful things you can learn in life, in business, in anything, is to listen to the voice that speaks life and ignore the voice that speaks death. So we all have both voices. And when we aren't honest about the fact that everybody hears both sides of the story, then we start to think, oh, it's just me. Like, I'm the only one scared of that. I'm the only one without enough courage to do that. No, you're not. Somebody said today, who said that? Something about having courage. Or, well, maybe it was Terry said
Terry,
something about bravery.
Brave.
Oh, yeah, Terry, when she said being brave is just being the only one who knows that you're scared. Or that's what courage is, right? Like, we're all scared. Like, we're all scared to death, but we have to step through fear. We have to listen to the voice that speaks life and choose the stronger way. Choose the way that really will empower us. I think sometimes we're afraid of power. I think sometimes we're afraid of success.
What's that? I wish I had that quote. The heart.
No, that's...
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Like right here.
What is it?
Sometimes your biggest
Jacqueline and I
fear
are just like muttering at each other. No one knows.
Sometimes your biggest fear is being something beyond measure.
You are powerful beyond measure. That one.
Oh, it's
Marianne
so
Williams.
good.
We're going to have to post
on
that.
our yeah.
All the people are like, you two are out of control.
But I know you know what I'm talking about.
I know.
As soon as your
We are
biggest
powerful
fear
beyond measure. Yes.
is you are capable of something
That's
so
what it
much bigger, and that's fearful. So then you just shut down and don't do anything.
Exactly. Okay. So,
We'll post it. It'll make more sense once you read it.
yeah, this is a bad idea, but it's going to be good. You guys are going to love it.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying is, you've got to listen to those voices that speak truth in your head. And here's the thing: if you're not hearing the voice of truth enough, you have to feed it into your soul.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to feed it into your soul.
And that's where books come in handy, trainings come in handy.
People.
People.
The people around you make a huge difference in your business and in your life. So, I had a prophylactic bilateral mastectomy in December, and we walked through a season that was so much harder than I expected it to be. But going into that season, I knew that there were things I needed to take care of in my business so that it would continue to be okay when I wasn't okay. And because a long time ago I had decided to treat my business like a business, I was able to do that. Because, like Carol said, I have a team that carries me when I can't walk. I have leaders that encourage me and relight my fire when I forget why I love this. And it's so important. But all of that came from very early on saying, I'm going to treat this like a business. And I'm going to do what I need to do to make it profitable. And you have to make those same choices. I think the biggest issue right now is we all get so caught up in social media and what everybody else is doing. So I want to stand on the rock that Jill preached from today when she said, stop posting what everybody else is posting. Stop doing what everyone else is doing, because it comes off unauthentic. But when you post you, when you share you, that's where healing comes. That's where you find your people, and that's where your business really starts to thrive. And so I think having hard times are going to come. Like, we're all going to walk through hard times. We're all going to walk through suffering. But when your business was a hobby, or when it became an obligation to you, and it's not something you're doing out of passion or doing as a business, it's going to wear you down. And it's going to wear your family down. And it's going to wear down your faith. And you're going to question whether or not it's what you want to do. And if you haven't yet questioned if you love this yet, this is not a negative Nelly. I promise I'll turn it around. But I'm going to get your affirmation on this. If you haven't ever questioned if this is something, you've been in for however long, and you haven't yet said, I don't know if this is right for me, you will eventually.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that if you're in long enough, you're going to question at some point, like, gosh, because it could be taking away from your family at times, because there's always a balance you have to find. And I've never had the perfect balance. I think I'm learning and getting better, but I think at some point, when you're in long enough, you'll question, is this what I want to do? And ultimately it comes down to, for me, like, it goes back to my why. That changes about every couple years, and you were going to go into that.
I didn't even prep you for this. It's just like,
yeah,
we could just do this without any preparation. Like, she just totally segued me. She segued me. But here's what I want to say about time. When we went through hard times in our business, or not in our business, but in our life, like with the major surgery that I went through, when we had foster babies in our home, when we walked through issues, we've walked through all kinds of things in the past 10 years. And when we walked through those things, I decided to listen to the people I put around me. I decided to let them change me in a positive way. And those were people that really I'd grown close to because of Scentsy, and people that were speaking truth and life into me when I had those times that I was listening to the voices of doubt. Here's one of the hard things about this business is you can work it anytime, anywhere, and as much as little as you want to. And it could be the downfall of your business. And this is why. This is why we're going to bring this home in a minute about making this business a business, because it needs to be for your soul. So no one's ever going to tell you to do anything or not tell you to do anything, right? You don't have a boss. You get to pick what you want to do, what you don't want to do. So I can work as little as I want, or I can work as much as I want. I can grind and hustle as hard as I want, or I can put boundaries in place and make sure that I'm treating this like the business that it is. So where and when do you start and stop? If there are no hardcore boundaries, you have to decide that. That means you have to be a business owner. It's one of the hardest things to do is to be a business owner and be a good one. You have to make the decisions. So what does that look like when we talk about treating your business like a business? Maybe you think you already are. Maybe you're told you know that you're not. Maybe you know you're far away from it. So I believe that treating your business like a business involves 4 things, 3 of which I'm going to talk about, and the 4th one I'm going to close with. So the first one is, I think you have to have passion. There has to be consistency, and you have got to learn some form of time management. You absolutely have to. Okay, so let's talk about passion. Passion for Scentsy itself can come and go.
Yep.
Would you say that's true? So your passion cannot be centered around, I want to be a superstar director one day, I want to get annual sales. Those are goals, and those are really good goals, but that is not passion. Passion has to come from something else. Passion comes from dreaming. And I know you're like, all right, that's great. Like, we tell our kids to dream, and it's okay to tell them to dream, but we can't dream. Dreaming will change your business, and it will change your life. What do I mean by dreaming? I mean, I want you to make time to really ask yourself and discover, what do I want from this business? What do I want out of this? What do I want this to bring me? What do I want this to bring my family? What do I want to be able to give back to because of this? When Maggie talked this morning about finding something that breaks your heart, it's something that I'm incredibly passionate about, that if you don't have something to give back to generously, you're gonna find that you're gonna lose your sizzle eventually, because eventually it can't be about money anymore. It has to be about something bigger than that. So it comes down to dreaming, and dreaming big. Jack, let me ask you this. When's the last time you would say that you really dreamed? Like, of what your business could be, like, long term?
Actually, Matt and I were just talking about this last week because we were watching House Hunters International, and then like island shopping. I can't remember what
Yeah, the people that buy the islands.
And we were like, man, that'd be really cool if, you know, in 10 years we could buy a house on the beach. And I was like, well, why can't we do that? You know, and so I think that got it. Well, yeah, we could. Well, where would we go? So then we're watching House Hunters. We watched like 5 episodes of House Hunters International. And we're like, oh, that place looks good. So then we're Googling it. And it, just to be able to dream in that, like, it's so exciting. And every time I think about living on the beach or having a house by the beach, that gets me so excited. And just to be able to have something like that to take the boys to every summer would be really cool.
So it sounds so far-fetched, right? It sounds like, oh, we could never do that. Like, but you can. And Carol said it earlier. She said, this is not, it's not a, I don't know what she said, but basically she said, it's not a sprint. Like, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. But she said, the people who win are the people who stay. Like, if you stay the course, and you stay consistent, and you put your time in, you're going to win eventually. You're going to get there. But it doesn't come from mediocrity. It doesn't come from treating this as a hobby. It comes from deciding to listen to the voice that says you are enough, that says you have a voice, that says you have good work to do, and deciding to walk in that. All right?
Yeah.
So I think dreaming is so important. So it starts with the dream. That's where the passion comes from. And I think that's what people have the hardest time with.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to like dream something because.
And it could be, it doesn't have to be that you want to own a house on the beach. It could be that you want to be a stay-at-home mom and raise your babies. or it could be that you want to be debt free. That makes you so excited because you have so many student loans, and just the thought of that is freeing and makes you smile. It doesn't, it doesn't have to be owning an island. Whatever it is, it has to be big to you.
Yeah.
It has to make you get fired up and excited. And
if you buy an island, I'm gonna be excited.
You guys, we'll buy one by Italy, and then all my superstar friends.
All right, you know how I feel about that. We'll just all move.
Everyone pitch in.
That's right.
Go fund.
I'm gonna start looking.
Yeah. So passion. Passion is number one. Number two is consistency. That's a really boring word. I'm just gonna be real honest, but it's the just flat out truth. I'm not, and this is what I mean by consistency. I don't mean you're posting something on social media every day. That's not what I mean. What I mean by consistency is you decide which tasks are going to be profit generating for you in your business where you are right now. And maybe if you need some guidance on that, that's where you reach out to your upline, to your director, to somebody you found in this group and say, hey, here's where I am. I'm at lead consultant. I'm at star. What do you think would be the most profit generating tasks for me to do right now in my business? What's going to take me to the next step? Maybe that means I really need to start this customer mail out sample follow-up thing that Aaron talked about this morning. Maybe I need to get my customer base built up. Maybe I really need to start having those little brave goals that Terry talked about. I'm gonna hand something to 5 people every day. That's gonna be my bridge into starting a relationship. Those are profit generating things. But you have to decide what those are, and then you have to do them consistently. Now, it doesn't mean those things can't change, because as your business grows and as it comes to different levels, those tasks may need to change, but you have to decide, I'm going to be consistent with my time and with my energy in my business and put forth those things.
Well, and one thing too, you set a goal early on that it was $2,000 a month, 2 recruits a month. And so I think it's important too that you have some type of goal like that, because I think the biggest thing you can do is be consistent with recruiting, parties, that kind of thing. And it's not that you necessarily recruit 2 people a month, but maybe you hand out 5 join packets each month, but you have 4 parties each month. And they don't have to be home parties, they can be any form of parties. But if you set a goal early on and you're consistent, and that's one thing, even whenever I had my son in September, I planned all my parties. Like basket parties were out when I was in the hospital.
You did such a great job of preparing for that.
Well, because I'm competitive and I want to earn the trip, and so I knew that I had to be consistent.
I was like, Jack, you can ease it down a little bit. She's like, no, I got it all planned out. I'm like, okay.
And I earned Greece, and I couldn't go because my brother got married, and I'm not bitter. I'm kind of bitter, but
she's a little bit
I'm a little bitter still. But the cool thing about that is, if I knew that I knew I had to be consistent if I want to earn the trip, and I know the biggest things that will bring me new customers is getting parties and handing out information about recruiting. I had warmers at the hospital. I handed out samples. I had the whole floor at the hospital smelling like newborn nursery. But it's one of those things you have to make a choice. I could have decided, and for me, even having a baby was one of the most important things in my life I've ever done. But I knew ultimately too, in 5 months I was going to need a vacation.
Absolutely.
I was gonna have a newborn. Always thinking ahead.
I have priorities.
But you have to be consistent. So. And those are for you to set.
Absolutely. And, for me, like when I started stalking Kimberly Polito and Facebook Live parties, I set a goal at the beginning of the year. I'm going to do 6 of these a month because I can. It fits into my schedule, into my time. Like, I can put my babies to bed. I can go do a Facebook Live party, and then I can sit on the couch with my husband and watch a TV show. Like, it works so well. And it's a little bit of work trying to build relationships on social media, but it's worth it to me right now in the season that I'm in.
Yeah.
But you just decide what you're going to do, and then follow through and commit. So that's where that consistency comes in. Here's number 3, time management. You guys, the biggest complaint I hear, or the biggest, I think, setback I hear from people when they're struggling in their business is, I just don't have time.
Yeah.
I don't have time. Newsflash. We all have crap going on. We all have a lot of crap. Like, America makes me nuts. How are you? I'm busy or I'm fine.
Yeah.
Those are lame answers. Don't tell me you're busy or you're fine. We're all busy, but we all have really great impact to put into the world. So here's my time management tips. And this is something we can expound on in this group later. But time management is simply you deciding what's important in your life. Mm-hmm. If you don't have some sort of time management system in place, I hate to break it to you, but something else is deciding what's important in your life. And it might be Netflix, and it might be social media, and it might be like just your kids' schedules. I don't know. But you have to decide what's important in your life. Is your marriage important? Are your kids important? Like quality time with them? Is your business important? Is your soul important? Like, how am I fitting all of this in? It is not going to happen on accident. So time management is how you make sure you're running your business and that your business isn't running you. The last thing you want is your business running you. That's how people get burnt out. That's how people get worn down. That's when people say, I can't do this anymore. Because they've let their business run them for so long instead of them saying, I'm going to run my business. Okay? So here are my tips for time management. You have to have some sort of time management. I don't care how you manage your time. Do it on your phone. Have a giant legal pad of to-do lists. Get a planner. You got to figure out what works for you. I can't tell you that. But it's really important that every week you look and you decide, all right, I'm gonna start with the things that are most important. I'm going to schedule a date night this week. I'm going to schedule time with the kiddos. Like, what are we doing? Are we sitting around the table eating dinner? Am I making time? You guys, this is lame, but lately I have made, and it's not that I'm like writing it in my calendar, but I sort of am. I'm like writing it down in my head. Like, I'm reading with every one of my kids before they go to bed. I have 4 kids. So I gotta all right, I gotta plan that out, especially if I have a Facebook Live party at 8:30. Like, okay, we gotta start reading at about 7:45, because then they have stall tactics. Like, you gotta plan it all out. So I have to plan those things. And then I have to put my business tasks in there. When I look at my business or life, you're working another job, you're taking care of kids, you're, taking care of your spouse, taking care of your home, whatever you're doing, you then have to say, all right, these are the profit-generating tasks that I've committed to. These are the goals I've set for my business that I said I'm going to do consistently. Where do they fit this week? Where am I putting them in? It's just simple time management, but we fail to do it because we think, I'll just do it, I'll fit it in when I can fit it in. Mm-hmm. And that's okay, but it's not going to grow you a thriving business that's going to feed your soul. It's going to end up running you, and you don't want that.
No, and I'm not as organized as Allie, but I've learned to be organized at things that mean a lot to me, kind of like Allie said. And so what I do a lot for business-wise on my phone and my notes, I'll put down, like if I got to send postcards, I'll put it in there. Oh, I got to do this, I'll put it in there. And then, if I have 10 minutes or if I have an hour where the kids are sleeping, I will go to that and then find out which one is most important, do that, mark it off. Mm-hmm. So, because I think part of my problem was for a long time is I had so much stuff I needed to do that I wouldn't do any of it, or I would sit down and have an hour and I'm like, crap, what did I have to do?
What am I doing? Or then you're overwhelmed.
And then I'm overwhelmed, I don't do any of it.
Yeah.
So now by having a list in my notes, and it's a constant, and I could probably use the same note every month. That's actually a really good idea.
That is a good idea.
And so I'll just add stuff in there, and then when I have any time, because people are like, how do you get, my mom will watch my kids sometimes, I don't know how you run a business with Lincoln and Jackson running around. I'm like, well, when I have an hour, that hour is spent on my list that I already know what I need to do. So it's not 30 minutes of figuring it out and then doing part of it. It's jumping right in, and I'm so much more productive.
It's also really, I mentioned this earlier, but I think this is a huge hang-up for people. Stop trying to do everything everybody else is doing. Pick those tasks that you know are where you are in your business that you know you need to focus on, and do those. Do those. And I know that there's other things that look cool and fancy and fluffy. Like, do the things that are going to make you money first, okay? And then if you have room for fluffy, then we add fluffy. But we're doing the things that are making money first, okay? My other time management tip is to batch tasks. Have I ever said this word to you?
Yeah.
This is a new thing that I'm learning how to do. Well, I've learned recently. Batching tasks just means taking tasks that are similar and doing them all at the same time. For instance, I do a lot of one-on-one coaching with my frontline, with my leaders. I used to say, Megan, we can go to lunch whenever it works for you. And so what would happen was I work 3 days a week right now. And so I would she's like, Tuesday. I'm like, cool. And I'd say, Diana, when do you want to go to lunch? She's like, Wednesday. I'm like, cool. So and that sounds good, right? I'm scheduling. That sounds really great. But what was happening is I was spending time going to lunch, coming back. Then I would get back in my office like, okay, I got to get some stuff done before I got to pick up Wyatt. Then I got to, I'm trying to do multiple kinds of things in a day. But what I found is far more effective is if I know I want to do all my coaching, I want to focus on my team and my one-on-ones. Well, I'm doing just Thursday of this week. And it may be Wednesday the next week and Tuesday the week after that. But just Thursday, and I'm going to put people back to back to back to back. Because the other thing is, my team are my friends, and what happens is then I would sit and have lunch with Megan for 2 hours, which is not bad. But if I'm going to commit to only working 3 days a week,
it's got to be productive.
Here's the other thing. When you say yes to something, you say no to something else. So when I say yes to an extra hour with Megan, that means I'm saying no to an extra hour with my kids. Everything comes with a cost. And not to say, Megan, I don't love you, but we have an hour for lunch. So it's like I have to be disciplined. And there'll be a time when all my kids are in school 5 days a week, and I'll be able to have a 2-hour lunch. But right now, if I'm going to work 3 days a week, I need to be as efficient as I can. So I'm batching tasks. And maybe that means I'm doing all the things like emails and follow up, which I'm not really good at right now. Like I'm doing all of that on one day, or I'm doing all my errands on one day. I've started doing it even in my home life.
One thing, because I used to get orders and run. Then I was like, no, I can deliver Tuesday. Tell me what time.
Deliveries 1 day a week.
Oh my gosh, it makes such a big difference.
That'll free you. That'll change your world.
Yeah.
If you just say, this is when I'm delivering product, or you can come pick it up. I always give them the option to come pick it up. They get a free Scent Circle if they come and get it. Yeah, but I'm delivering on Tuesday afternoon, or you can come get it before then.
Yeah.
It'll change your life. So those are my time management tips. So passion, that's the dreaming part. Consistency. Do what you say you're going to do over and over again. Time management. And then the fourth thing that we didn't talk about yet is knowing who you are. And I didn't really mean for everybody today to talk about that, but they did, and it's perfect because knowing who you are is so vital to this actually working for you. I think that Scentsy changes people's lives, not because it makes them more money or because it lets their husbands quit their jobs or anything like that. I think that it changes people's lives because it changes people. It changes who you are, if you let it. And I think, you heard these amazing women, amazing successful women talk about today their struggles, the hard and messy and ugly parts of their lives that have slowly become redeemed and have changed them. The scars left from those things have absolutely changed who they are. And when we allow who we are and our authentic selves to project forward for the world to see, that's when people look at you and say, she's not perfect and she's kind of messy. Maybe she cusses a lot. Maybe she's like whatever. But I like her. I like her because she's real and she's honest and she's not afraid to say, I suck at this or I screwed up here. And this is all the mess of my life that I'm working on healing. And when we're able to do that and when we're able to say, I know who I am, that's when our businesses start to change. How different are you than when you started?
So different. Completely different. I think before I started, I was an ICU nurse and I loved taking care of people and I think I was really good at it. But because of Scentsy, Scentsy empowered me. I think back to college when I was in speech class and I was shaking. I was so nervous. And then I fast forward to speaking at in Dallas at World Tour in front of thousands of people. And afterwards, you were like, you actually were pretty good. And I was like,
God, what a great support system.
No, you were.
I know what I was shocked that you were good.
Well, no, but I was shocked. and then I think back what that has allowed me to do with Scentsy and the platform it's given me and just just who it's made me become and more giving and generous and empowered and influential,
Yeah.
Before Scentsy, I might have influenced someone how to change their catheter more often. There's a different kind of nurses have a huge job, but it's just different. I feel like I'm doing exactly what God wants me to do right now.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So I want to go back to that song that I read part of you. Grandma at the end of her part of the song says, Moana, do you know who you are? And the whole movie is really about Moana deciding and figuring out and who she is and overcoming obstacles and being brave enough to go out and do something, and then all these things go wrong. But after everything goes wrong is when Grandma says, do you know who you are? And I think sometimes when everything has gone wrong and we're kind of at that point where we want to turn back, we want to quit, we want to think it's not worth it, there only has to be one reason to stay. And the reason can be enough that you know who you are. And Moana responds, and her first thing is she says, who am I? She asks the question. And then she says, I'm a girl who loves my island. I'm a girl who loves the sea. It calls me. I'm the daughter of the village chief. We are descended from voyagers who found their way across the world. They call me. I've delivered us to where we are. I've journeyed farther. I'm everything I've learned and more. Still it calls me. And the call isn't out there at all. It's inside me. It's like the tide, always falling and rising. I will carry you here in my heart, and you'll remind me that come what may, I know the way. I am Moana. You gotta listen to it, though. The music is so good. And then she jumps in the ocean, and she decides not to quit.
And it parts.
Yeah, it's so good. But the whole point is, like, everything that she says and proclaims over her life was something that she questioned about who she was. She says, I'm a girl who loves my island. I am the girl who loves the sea. She was the only little girl in her village that was so intrigued by the sea. She loved the sea, and she didn't know why. Well, the call on her life was for her to go out across the ocean to save the world, basically. And she felt bad about it. Like, she felt like, I shouldn't feel that. I should be fine right here. I should be okay right here. And I think sometimes we want to get stuck in, I'm okay right here. But I think when we think, I'm comfortable and I'm good and I don't need anything more and I don't need my business to be bigger than it is, it's totally fine where it is, that is that little voice that tells you that you can't and that you're not enough, trying to win you over. But when you say, no, like, there's a call, there's something bigger, I do want that, I see that and I want it, well, you've got to decide who you are. You have to decide, like, okay, the things that I sometimes think maybe make me different or make me weird, whatever, those aren't bad things. Those are part of who I am, and that's exactly what I need to move forward. So here's my biggest encouragement to you, is decide who you are. Decide what you want from this business. Dream big about it. But ask yourself the question, who am I? And then answer it. Don't let the voice that tells you you're not enough win, because he's a liar. Listen to the voice that says you are enough and you can. And you have so much that you've learned, and there's so much more to learn. But you can do it. You can make a positive impact in your family, in your marriage, in your community, whatever, in your situation. Maybe you're in a situation that you don't love. You can absolutely choose to do something about it. But it's gonna come with a lot of fight. It's gonna come with a lot of fight of ignoring the voice that tells you you're not enough and listening instead to the voice that tells you you're fearless, that you're a light, and that you're powerful beyond measure. Ooh, that's what that is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I said that. I don't know the whole thing.
Someone probably posted it.
Yeah.
If not, we'll post it because it's so good.
So that's our encouragement to you. We just want you to know that this is not gonna happen on accident. Mm-hmm. Watching this is a good first step, but it won't change anything unless you make the decision to do something about it. Treat your business like a business. Work from passion. Dream a little bit. Learn how to be consistent. Teach yourself. Manage your time, for crying out loud. And know who you are. You are the only person who can decide who you are. And know that you can. Let's see how much money we raised.
Oh, Brian, get your piece of paper.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is as of like 10 minutes ago.
30
minutes ago. All right, so we have raised right now over $1,300, which is pretty amazing. Cheers from the gallery.
Our beautiful gallery.
I know. Over $1,300. I'm going to tell them what our goal for the end of the week is.
Yeah.
Our goal for the end of the week is $3,000. I would love to write a check for $1,000 to each organization. So what we're going to do in just a little bit, Brian and I will go through and take everybody's name that donated today, $20 or more, and put them in a hat and draw. We'll probably draw on Facebook Live so you'll know it was legit. And somebody's going to win a $100 Amazon gift card. And then if you want to continue to give after today and your teams start to see this and you're sharing with other people and they want to give to one of our charities, then we'll draw next Saturday for another $100 Amazon gift card. We want to thank you guys.
Yeah, today's been awesome. And everyone here today, you guys probably haven't seen the behind the scenes.
Oh, you should do a scan.
We've had technical difficulties at times. And everyone's hiding.
Do it really fast. We had more if you had to leave, but
Also,
I just did it really fast. So there's
Hey,
Diana.
here's what else
There's
I wanna
Taylor.
say.
Megan doesn't want to be in the camera. Leslie.
Here's what else I want to say. Somebody today texted me, was like, my whole group stood me up. We had 25 people RSVP to be here, and we ended up with 8, all right? So it's not just you, it's everybody.
We've got extra bagels if you want to swing by.
We have so many bagels.
So many bagels. We've got coffee. It might be a little old, but
Y'all,
we
this
can
is a
heat it up.
blast. We are doing another simulcast in the fall, and we already have the date set. We're really, really excited about it. We hope that you'll join us then. But for now, thanks for hanging out with us. We love you. To all our across the oceaners, it's the middle of the night.
Go to bed.
Go to bed. Thanks for staying up with us.
We'll do the drawing at 4 o'clock, so you can donate up until then.
Oh, donate up until
up
4
until
o'clock,
4.
and we're going to do the drawing. And don't forget, you can share this group with your team members, with your other Scentsy sisters. We absolutely, what we want to do really honestly is make a big impact and give away a lot of money. And we want you to feel empowered and have great information to run your business. So thanks for spending the day with us. We love you guys.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.